audio on demand from Vision Christian Media.
Exploring faith and the future. Neil Johnson and Bible teacher Dr. Camille Majdali.
Our exploration of New Testament epistles has been outstanding, Camille. Let's talk about the epistle that the Apostle Peter wrote. He stood up on the day of Pentecost. He's a prominent character in the book of Acts, and he is the writer of 1st and 2nd Peter. What is so special about the epistles that Peter wrote?
Well, 1st Peter is about comforting and encouraging and strengthening what we call the suffering church. The early church suffered almost from day one. They may have had a little honeymoon period just after the day of Pentecost, but by the time Stephen was martyred in Acts 7, the suffering began wholesale upon the early church. Today, we have a suffering church, and the suffering is actually increasing, not decreasing. This is in tandem with a rise in anti-Semitism as well. These two peoples, the Jewish people and the Christians, are representative of the living God, the God of the Bible, because after all, it's what we call a Judeo-Christian heritage. And I believe this suffering is caused because, we're getting to the home stretch, and the forces of darkness are nervous because they know that Christ is returning, and so they can't attack God. He's too big. So they attack the people that represent God, Jews and Christians. So basically, 1 Peter is there to give strength and encouragement to the suffering church. Let me read to you a couple of verses here from chapter 1, verse 7, that the genuineness of your faith may, being much more precious than gold that perishes, though it be tested by fire, may be found to praise, honor, and glory at the revelation of Jesus Christ. So our faith is so precious, it's being refined in the fire of affliction, and it will come forth as gold. And Neil, I just need to quickly add, in an era where we're given a lot of messages that are positive, and I, of course, believe in giving the whole counsel of God and where it's positive it should be, but if it's all positive and perhaps in the realm of feel-good, it can be very dangerous because we're not preparing people for pain, for suffering, for challenge, for trial, and if they're unprepared, it will blindside them.
Camille, because in a society like ours where we haven't had to deal with this issue of persecution, we might have felt that Peter's words were less relevant to us. But perhaps in coming times, they may be all the more relevant because Christians these days are under greater pressure.
I would say Peter's words are very relevant for today. And look, like everything else, there is a silver lining to this issue of suffering. And that is this, there's a practical side. Peter is telling the church, if suffering happens, don't run from God. On the contrary, run to God and submit yourself to Him as to a faithful Creator. There is power, even joy, in submitting yourself to the living God. And on top of it, it says in chapter 5, verse 7, casting all your care on Him, for He cares for you. Let God lift every heavy burden. And I'm telling you, you'll be as free as an eagle, even in the midst of suffering. In fact, the suffering will propel you to heavenly places in Christ Jesus.
Faith and the Future with Neil Johnson and Dr. Camille Majdali from Teach All Nations. For more from Dr. Majdali, including books and DVDs on prophecy, Bible commentaries, plus today's and other episodes of Faith and the Future, go to vision.org.au.
Thanks for taking time to listen to this audio on demand from Vision Christian Media. To find out more about us, go to vision.org.au.